My background is in human resources, and I worked in tech companies in a human resources role in the past.
The last 4 years of my career before coming to Owen, I was working as a software engineer.
What drew me to continue to want to work in tech was the fast paced environment as well as the innovation.
In that technology space, I really wanted to focus on making new things and making new technology because I find technology is a sphere where things are evolving so fast, and that evolution and these new things are what really interests me. I actually came into business school knowing I wanted to do that product management role. As a product manager, you're basically an advocate for the developers and a translator between the engineering teams and the business. And I thought that would be a great combination of this new business background I was getting along with my previous technical experience. And so there's two different types of product management roles. There's the general PM role, and that's going to basically, like, that whole interview process and that role focuses much more on the behavioral aspects of being a product manager and being that translator. Whereas a product management technical role, you're really going to be diving in a lot more to the ones and zeros of the product and need to have a deeper understanding of the technical intricacies of that product. So having the engineering background that I had, product management technical role is definitely what I was seeking out once I came to Owen. Product management space is highly competitive, and there's not that many roles out there. One of the things I did was set up reminders on LinkedIn to tell me when those opportunities were coming through. So I had anything that was product management internship, product management MBA flagged, and I would get a notification. I could apply to it right away. Once you get that notification or email that you actually have that interview set up, I would really do a deep dive into the company itself and their products. So you can really leverage a product management internship as a stepping stone into that space, even if that internship might not necessarily be where you want to be long term. Some of the skills you can develop in that internship just give you a broader understanding of what the role is, how to empathize with your consumers, and what types of technology the role actually has you focusing on.
There are a ton of ways that skills can translate into the tech industry.
I think the one core skill or understanding that you need to channel is empathy.
Having a growth mindset or just being open minded.
A lot of the questions I got asked during my interview processes centered around putting yourself in the mind of the consumer, understanding their needs, and tailoring a product to those needs and not dictating a product at them.
Think big.
Understanding of the core technologies of the companies that you're applying to is really needed.
Be able to make decisions quickly. So tech is really fast paced, and to be able to make a decision quickly is a great transferable skill to have within that industry.
So for resources, there's a ton out there for product managers.
I leaned heavily on Owen's alumni network. And so there was an alum that I met very early on at the HOP symposium who I stayed in contact with. It was someone that worked at a company that I was really interested in. And so I had multiple conversations with him throughout the beginning of my recruiting timeline. And he really helped to give me resources. He spent time with me going over interview questions, which I then used the CMC to practice those interview questions with as well.
Lewis Lin is a pretty famous product management author, and he has tons of books. I read 2 of those right before my Google interview. There's also Cracking the Product Management Interview. Highly recommend that one as well. Online, you have YouTube videos of people interviewing at these big PM jobs, and the question structure from those mock interviews exactly mirrored what I was seeing in person. I'd say the recruiting timeline, specifically for the PM role, is all over the place. I had interviews starting in October. You really need to be prepared year long and be applying to things year long to end up getting into those roles because, like I just mentioned, they can be at any time.
If you have an interest in technology, I would say think about all of the different ways that you can be in that industry, but in a different business capacity. So there are many opportunities of ways to get into the tech industry, but in a specific functional role.
If you're trying to get that product management role as your full-time opportunity after Owen, you really need to focus on getting an internship with product management in the name. Actually, Google and Microsoft ended up reaching out to me in December largely because I think I had that product management experience on my resume.
Follow what the big players in the tech industry are doing. So follow their Twitters or any other form of social media that they're putting out there. Wrap your head around what the culture is like at companies like that as you look into the tech industry as a place you might want to go.